Michael, Stefon Diggs play on Monday.
I don't know. We'll see.
Like the regular Stefon Diggs in practice?
I have to watch tape.
Mike, what do you base it on whether he'll play or not?
Well, I watch tape.
So it's how he looks, not punishment of any sort.
Well, he's already been punished.
I would say problematic, if anything. You know, as being a receiver, you want to have success.
Steps into it. Pass is caught.
You want everything to go right at every given time.
Diggs! Sideline! Touchdown! Unbelievable! Vikings win it!
But we don't live in a perfect world, so when things aren't going right, just doing everything that you can so we can get the win. You know, at the end of the day, everything isn't going to be perfect, but just do everything in your power so, you know, we can have success.
No, Stefon last year had probably his most productive year, and he's a young receiver who just extended. So, you know, there's no reason or the rumors or whatever you're talking about to anticipate that Stefon Diggs is not going to be a Minnesota Viking.
Now it has happened. Diggs traded to Buffalo for a first rounder and multiple picks after that, a fifth and a sixth and a fourth in 2021.
And that is where we begin today's episode of Viking Vet Line, as what was true for Rick Spielman in February was not true by March. Stefon Diggs, as you heard Collar just saying at the end of that montage there, nice job, Jonathan Harrison. It's Zolgad and Declan Goff, by the way, 11 to noon with you. We will get to the phone lines because we have full phone lines already. Just quickly, if you did not hear last night, if you are waking up, I know this is a different world right now, a lot of weird stuff going on. Indeed, Stefon Diggs traded to the Bills last night, along with a 2020 7th-round pick for a first-round pick this year. That's the 22nd overall. It gives the Vikings 2 first-round picks, 22 and 25. A 5th-round pick this year, a 6th-round pick this year, and a 4th-rounder in 2021. That is quite the haul. I'm going to make a quick statement here, give my thoughts about this trade, and then immediately transition to phone call 651-646-8255. Because I think that this trade, in my opinion, does not deserve to be hot-taked. It's an interesting trade. Number one, this can be true. The Vikings got a haul back for a player who forced his way out, who gave them no real choice. They had to trade him after yesterday. This was a mess. All right? So they got a haul back. That's fantastic. This is also true. The Vikings weakened themselves for 2020. They are not as good today as they were when I sat here yesterday. Kirk Cousins had signed the extension. No matter what you think of that, this team just took away one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League last night. So they got a haul back. They got a lot back. They weakened themselves for 2020. And my last thing before I get to John, after the moves yesterday with Kirk Cousins, Anthony Harris, who they franchised, and now my trade, and now Stefon Diggs, I think it's very safe and accurate to say we have no idea what the Vikings are doing. And that could be cleared up by Friday. This could become crystal clear. Anthony Harris could go from being a franchise tagged $11.4 million safety, which is a pretty big hit, to being traded. But I think it's very safe to say that if there is a grand plan here, figuring it out right now as we talk on Tuesday at 11:04 a.m. in the morning is damn near impossible. All right, those are my thoughts. Let's go to yours, 651-646-8255. John, you will lead us off. How are you, sir?
Badoo.
Oh, I got your back. Hold on a second here. There you go.
I like that. All right, so here's my only gripe, my only hot take is, we're on a 2-week quarantine. Did the Vikings have to do every single move yesterday?
You know, they probably weren't going to do Diggs until that series of tweets in the afternoon, and I think he just kept forcing things, and Buffalo offered them such a good package that I think Rick Spielman said, I can't turn this down.
Yeah. I mean, the Buffalo, who knows the timeline, but you're right that, something was going on. Here's my thing with the Diggs. When we were talking about this last month, I think people were saying, oh, what if we could get a third for Diggs? And I said, that's dumb.
Yep.
Getting a first, great. Good riddance, you're gone. Let's a first round, to turn a 5th-round pick into a first-round pick is awesome. We got good production. We got the Minneapolis Miracle. Now, here's my only thing, and this is where, again, we have no idea what the Vikings are going to do, and I'm curious to know. I know you got a lot of phone calls, but if you get time, do you think the Vikings are going to try and package a couple things together and get up high into the first round and make a splash, or do you think what they're going to do is more that 2013, maybe even take a couple of their late rounds, try to package something to get back into the first and do another like 3, players in the 20? Because somebody, I think it was Courtney, tweeted that now they have 5 in the top 105.
Yep.
So obviously
They've got 13 right now, John. They got 13
Right.
draft picks.
So they're paying the quarterback, but they're going to have a lot of young, cheap talent.
Yep.
Hopefully talent. Hopefully not, Willie Beavers. But, at the end of the day, I guess my question is, do you think this is the signs of a splash move coming in the draft, or do you think this is more quantity over quantity instead of, potential
I got you.
high-tech quality? Yeah.
Thanks, John. Right now with Spielman, it's very hard to say. He loves having draft picks. He's got 13. But if you want to address that left tackle, or you want to get a what you consider to be an immediate impact top flight receiver, there's an argument to be made that you take a couple of those picks. I mean, you got 13 picks, that you take your 2 first round picks and try and move up substantially in the first round. That's what I'm saying as far as definition here. We don't know. There must be a plan here, but we don't know what that plan is. So in the coming days, in the coming weeks, as the draft approaches, what we are going to have to see is, what's the plan here? And is the plan all about 2020? Is the plan, which right now seems to be somewhat about 2020, and certainly after last night seems to be also about the future? 651-646-8255. Let's continue to run through these phone calls. Reacting to the big news, the Stefon Diggs trade last night. Terrence, how are you?
Good morning, Judge. So that was my question. Do we bundle 22 and 25 and try and trade up for a tackle?
Do you?
All the good tackles
Terrence?
gone by what, 10?
Well, the really good ones, yeah. So
Okay.
if you're Spielman, do you try and do that? Because it certainly would seem to be like a good plan, because I will say this: if you use your draft picks as they fall right now, that screams that you feel that you have the security that you're going to be here for a while. If you don't have that security, I could certainly see an argument to be made to get up, for instance, in that top 10, try and pull the trigger on, let's say, a top tackle. And if you do that, the assumption should be that that is an immediate starter. I know it's a tough transition, but that should be the assumption.
Right on. And then I just wanted to tell you real quick that ESPN and Sirius XM are whining and moaning that the Vikings got a first-round pick, but Bill O'Brien, we got a good vibe down there in Houston, only got a second for DeAndre Hopkins. Wah!
What was Bill O'Brien doing, too? I mean, that was just such a flat-out off. David Johnson? What an
Have a good one,
idiot.
Judge. Talk to you later, buddy.
Bye.
I mean, that's Victor Rask, Nino Niederreiter. I mean, I don't want to put Nino in DeAndre Hopkins category, but it's esque of that. I mean, what the heck was Bill O'Brien thinking?
It's Brock for Bruglio, man.
There you go.
DeAndre Hopkins is a better receiver than Stefon Diggs, and Stefon Diggs is outstanding, and Bill O'Brien got absolutely fleeced. 651-646-8255. The phone call's coming fast and furious. As we react and talk about the Stefon Diggs trade, let's go to Jesse. Hey, Jesse.
Hey, Judd, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. You?
Good. I'm sitting here drinking my Aldi Colombian coffee. I don't know if you've had that before, but
I have not. Good?
It's pretty good. It's pretty good. Yeah, good price too.
Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I think Vikings, this was a fantastic situation. You can have 2 first-round picks now. You can get an offensive lineman or a corner, or you can move up, get someone better. And then, I mean, like we said, it's wide receiver deep. Could end up getting Tyler Johnson back, staying here in Minnesota. That could be a replacement. Or you got these veterans out there, Perriman, Robbie Anderson. So I think this is a fantastic move. Love Diggs. Thank you for the miracle. I'll always remember that. But no, I think this is a great situation.
Thank you, sir. And the thing, too, is where I give Spielman credit here, and I think he definitely deserves it, is he turned a disgruntled player who everybody knew desperately wanted out into a lot, and that's hard to do. I'm sure that there were a lot of phone calls made, or he got a lot of phone calls from teams saying, I'll give you a 3rd-round pick for this. This is great. I'll give you a 2nd round or 2, but that's it, because I know Stefon Diggs is ticked off, and to turn around and get as much as he got from Buffalo. And also, too, you know what? If you're Rick Spielman, and Stefon Diggs clearly has been complaining to you for quite some time, do you mind sending him to Buffalo? Josh Allen? You probably aren't too upset about that. Stefon Diggs probably thought, I'm going to go to a place where there's a great quarterback. Well, Stefon, meet Josh. Ben, what's going on? How are you?
Hey, Judd. So I have an idea of what could be happening here and why we're all so confused of which direction the Vikings are going.
Okay.
I personally feel that Rick Spielman and a lot of people up in the front office and ownership sat down and assessed season last year and probably thought we probably maxed out this roster. Now, the re-signing of Kirk Cousins again, they can get out of the contract after 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So that tells me that it's not a 5-year deal where you look at it like, well, that's their quarterback. It's only a 2-year deal, really a 1-year deal when you think about it. I think that Rick Spielman is attempting to hit the reset button on the roster, and Mike Zimmer is doing everything he can to stop him from doing that.
You might be dead on correct, Ben. That might be absolutely right.
Yeah, and so I think they have enough draft capital because they have to be looking. I think they're looking at this draft and saying we're going to draft our quarterback of the future, and we're going to make a huge splash on draft day. And honestly, because we have not heard a contract extension from Mike Zimmer, he could be on his way out the door after this year.
Yes, most definitely, Ben.
Because if they're trying to hit the reset button on the roster and he's telling them no, it's easy for ownership and Rick to say, okay, well, we'll let you go out on your contract and have a good and we wish you the best. But that's just what I think is going on here. I think it's the coach doesn't want to hit the reset button and the general manager does. So
thanks, Ben.
That's just what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, it definitely feels, and there could be different agendas being served here. But that's why I'm curious to see the next few days and next few weeks. Does this crystallize? Does it continue to get a little bit odd as far as we can't tell the direction for sure? Ben might be exactly right. There might be definitely people in Egan with different ideas of what the direction of the Vikings franchise should be. Alec, how are you today?
I am good. All right. So, Judd, Declan, I think that this is great. I mean, look at all the picks that the Vikings have. I saw a few people, fellow Vikings fans that I follow on Twitter and interact with that were just like, oh my God, I hate you, Vikings. Oh my gosh, look at the haul you got for him, and look at what the Texans just said with DeAndre Hopkins.
Yep.
Relax, right? And you can't keep around a guy who is that desperate to get out. I mean, you've got to be looking to move him. What do you think's going to happen? He's eventually just going to be like, "Oh yeah, just kidding, changed my mind."
Right.
No, like, once you get to that point, once a player gets to that point, there's no going back, right? So, and I'm really excited now because I do think with the amount of picks, and because it was all picks, no players, I really do think that they are going to try to use some of those late rounders to try to package with a player or two to move up, in a major way. And like that last call, a previous caller said, to take a quarterback for the future, because now you can do that. So
I think if you're going to move up in the first round, we're probably talking about a package, though, that includes those 2 first-round picks, theirs at 25, and then the one I got from Buffalo at 22.
Yes, I'm with you. So, yeah, not even late round. But, yeah, those picks that you have now, you can move up and take quarterback for the future. And then one last thing.
Yep.
Oh, man. Rick, I love you, Rick, because you know where he sent them? He thought, I don't like Kirk Cousins as my quarterback. All right. Oh, yes, I'm traded. Where do I go? Uh-oh. Wah-wah. That's what you get for trying to get out of a contract. See ya. Don't let the door hit you on the way out. That's what I got. Thanks.
Bye, Alec. Good call. Yeah, I'm sure December in Buffalo is going to be gorgeous for Stefon Diggs as the football flies over his head or sideways in the wind or something.